Of NAR, New Apostolic Reformation. By the way, it is basically built on the fact that there are apostles today. Peter Wagner is the leading apostle, but you can be an apostle. I think it was $600. You could be an apostle. And you send your money to Peter, and he sent you a certificate saying you were an apostle. I think it starts with a madness, an egotistical madness, that you actually think you have the kind of power that could pull that off. And if you tell yourself that long enough and you get enough people to buy into it, it gets a life of its own. And I think it is just a way to dupe people. I mean, we all know how young people are interested in social justice and how Christianity is, even evangelical Christianity, non-charismatic, has turned away from the gospel. Why has it turned away from the gospel? If you go to a place that's been through a difficult time, you go to New Orleans after a hurricane or whatever, and you start reaching out to people. If you go and sit them down and say, let me tell you why you need to come to Jesus Christ because you're a sinner, and you go through the gospel, what kind of reception are you going to get? You're probably going to run out of the house. It's going to be very difficult. People aren't going to buy in. But show up with food. Show up with clothes. They will love you. They will embrace you and say you're doing this in the name of Jesus. That kind of stuff is easy. What's hard is the gospel presentation. Well, I think they've captured some of this desire to change the world, which is always appealing to young people, and that's who you see in these things, young people. And with a kind of crazy megalomania and a kind of a vast overestimation of the power that they have, they define their eschatology. I don't think it comes from studying the Bible and coming up with a post-millennial view. I think it comes from egotism gone mad, and it may be aided and abetted by Satan himself. If you read about the NAR, you know, when Rick Perry was running for president, and he ended up at a bunch of NAR, New Apostolic Reformation. By the way, it is basically built on the fact that there are apostles today. Peter Wagner is the leading apostle, but you can be an apostle. I think it was $600. You could be an apostle. And you send your money to Peter, and he sent you a certificate saying you were an apostle. So they had divided the state of Texas, if you remember, they'd taken every county in Texas, and they had started to take dominion over every county in Texas. And the big prayer meeting that Rick Perry attended was a prayer meeting of all these dominionists trying to take over Texas. And they came up with crazy things like little demons and all kinds of stuff. There's a sense in which this is just egotism gone mad. And there's also a sense in which it may be literally the kingdom of darkness behind it all.
Wow.